Hello, welcome to another video. This one been a bit long in coming, primarily because we've just been stuck to bits and bobs, haven't we? And it's been a difficult time of year to get stuff done, really. So what this is, me and Alex like to try and have a game on a Friday night. So it was last Friday or the Friday before. Anyway, we decided to do a 20mm Falklands game using Fireteam Modern, which is at our level, it's a sort of go-to system. So what it is, it's basically a scenario from the Battle of Goose Green involving A Company 2 Para, specifically 2 platoon. So it's, for those of you who know the brief outline of the battle, I'm not going to go into details, but basically it's dawn's just breaking, so the battalion's been fighting through the initial positions, and this scenario takes place on Darwin Hill, where there's the Gorse line, which is quite a famous feature from the battle, and the Gorse Gully. So what this is, it involves 2 platoon basically coming under fire because it's dawn, and the folks trying to get to the Gorse Gully to get in the cover. So we'll have obviously a British platoon, and there's sort of a slightly under strength Argentine platoon, basically in trenches, from the 25th Infantry Regiment, if I remember correctly. I think it was from C Company, 25th Infantry Regiment. So that's what we've got. The memory on me phone that I used to do the filming actually got full, so we've got
I think turn 1 and part of turn 2.
Turn 2. So rather than completely do the whole game again, we thought we'd just show it here so you can have a look and you'll see the way the rule systems work, what's happening. We'll come back after you've watched the video and we'll give you an update as to what happened at the end of the game. So what we'll do now is we'll go down to the table and we'll have a look at the game. Right, so this is an overview of the table. Inlet on the left-hand side of the table, as you can see, with the stream. To go through the terrain first, at the top of the screen as you're looking at is high ground where the rocks are. This is also covered by the Gorse line, which are the three pieces here. That's the Gorse line that runs right across Darwin Hill. This area, this shaped area that I've put down here, this is the Gorse Gully, which if you've read any accounts of Goose Green is quite well known. Entrenchments are the Argentine positions. You see the zigzag sort of entrenchments. Little few sheep there wandering around. They're obviously going to be moved. And this here is the British start point. I've just got a base there. So what the object of the scenario is for the British to get to the Gorse Gully and basically holding the Gorse Gully. Argentine troops are deployed. I'll go around the table, show you what they have from their point of view. Right, 4-man platoon headquarters. Up here in the trenches, there's basically 2 10-man squads, divided into fire teams of 5. They're running the length there. There's also a 2-man GPMG team in the middle. In support, which is obviously off board, but I've just put it here, there's 120mm mortar. So those are the Argentine positions. Obviously the British haven't come on yet. We'll go and have a quick look at them. So British wise, obviously 2 para. So these guys actually had 2 GPMGs per section. So what we've got is a 4-man platoon headquarters. One of the guys in the platoon headquarters got an M79 grenade launcher. Then you've got basically a standard 8-man sections, slightly different to a normal Orbat in that the 5-man rifle group's also got a GPMG, and then you've got the standard GPMG group. So 2 GPMGs per section, and obviously 3 sections. So these guys will be entering here when the game starts. Right, Alex, so turn 1, as I've mentioned at the beginning, you've got the first move before we go to the card draws, because obviously neither side was initially aware of where the other side was.
Yeah.
So if you want to activate your first group, as I've said, you can activate the whole section if you want to. The disadvantages of doing that are that obviously you haven't got the flexibility of the individual fire teams, but if you want to do that, you can.
No, that's fine. So I'm going to activate a section first. I'm going to do this front one, and then I'm just going to move up. So I am regular. So I've got 5.
You've got 5 activations. So if you wanted to, in theory, you could move 5 increments, which would be 20 inches.
Well, they're
going
to do 4, then get down for 1.
Right. So you're going to move 16 inches forward with that section.
Let's get there.
Right. So
So
you want
that's
to activate the marker on him. And they've also gone down, yeah? So it's
activated and a down marker.
And they're down for the whole thing, right. Okay.
And then I'm going to activate the next section again. They're going to do the same. So they're all just going to follow up in the in a line, staying in formation.
Yeah.
They're going to be down as well.
Right, so platoon headquarters.
Platoon headquarters, they're going to do the same thing.
Right.
So they're moving up to there.
Yeah.
Then the last one here section, they're just going to do the same thing, all moving up, going down as well. They're all there, activated and down.
Right, so they're all activated down. Right, Argentinian term. Right, so because no one's opened fire, spotting isn't automatic. It is, I should have said at the beginning, it's just turned daylight, so the night rules aren't into effect. It's just sort of dawn. Right, so what I'm going to do is initially I'm going to activate this fire team here, and what we're going to try and do is spot them. So we'll get a range. So they're going to try and spot your first section, this fire team here from the middle. You're looking at 24 inches on average. Within 24 inches of the target, I'll spot them on a 5 or more. So this is the first activation. I've got 4.
No.
Haven't spotted them.
Second, yes.
So spotted them. So I've got 2 activations left. Okay. So these guys are going to do, initially they're going to do suppressive fire, which will be my other 2 activations. So because they're opening fire, I'll get rid of the hidden marker.
Yeah.
Right, so what we've got here is we've got 5 riflemen. So they've got the Argentinian FAL, which is obviously an assault rifle rather than the SLR. So you're looking at a rate of fire of 2. There's 5 of them, 10 dice. Because I'm doing suppressive fire, the number of dice is doubled, so I've got 20 dice. So I'll initially get 10 together. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'll roll them twice.
Yeah.
Now with suppressive fire, if you remember, I've doubled the number of shooting dice. There's no modifiers at all to the hit. I'm not going to cause any casualties. All I'm going to do is cause suppression, and I'm shooting at the group in the front.
Yeah,
so the first section, right?
Yeah.
So rolling the hit, because they're conscripts, I'm looking for 5s or more. So what I'm looking for is 5s or more on the dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's 6 there? 7, 8, 9, 10. So what I've done there is I've caused 10 points of suppression on those across the whole group.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, bigger group's going to have 6 on. Smaller group's going to have 4 on.
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, so what that means for you, looking at basically they're classed as under fire. That's when the number of suppression points is equal to the number of surviving figures, which it is. To get them suppressed, the number of suppression points would have to be double the number of figures. So they'd have to be on 6 and they'd have to be on 10.
Yeah.
So they're just at the minute they're classed as under fire.
Yeah.
This fire team is activated. So we'll put the activation marker on them. This group here, they'll try to do the same. So they'll spot initially to see if they can see anyone.
Well, there's still a tender spot even though...
Yeah, it costs an activate. Basically, it would cost them an activation point to shout across to give them a thing, and they haven't got any left. So they're going to spot, and obviously this would arguably happen. It's all going to happen at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're looking at 5s or more. Yes, so they've spotted them.
First one.
So they're going to do. They're going to try concentrated fire. Okay, so that costs 2 points, and they're basically not going to. So what would they be on? They've got 1, 2. So what they could do, yeah, I'll keep it straightforward. So they're going to do concentrated fire. Now remember the way concentrated fire works. We need basically what we've got to look at is the rolling to hit. So they're classed as conscript. So the base score I'm looking at's a 5. Okay. The firer is carrying out concentrated fire, which drops it to 4. Either has moved during the current turn. You've moved, so that puts it up to 5. You're down, which puts it up to 6. Range wise,
24.
This guy here. It's going to be 24, so it's just. So we're looking at 6s basically to hit. Okay, so there's 10 dice looking for 6s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Ooh, you didn't want to do that.
No.
Right, so I've got 4 hits. So what you need to do now, Alex, is you've got to save. So because they're regular, you're going to save on a 4 or more.
Yeah.
So you want 4 dice and try and roll 4 or more.
The down is not the cover. Is there any?
No, that's
cover?
done in the hitting.
Right.
That's done for hitting. It's part of the hitting procedure.
So you need 4s or more.
4s or more. So you've
saved
saved 2.
Saved 2.
So you've got 2 hits. Right. So what you need to do now is you need to roll for what the casualties are. You then pick what the casualties are. In this, low is bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. So you want to roll 2 hits. 1 is dead. 3 is seriously injured.
Right.
So we'll maybe spread them between you. Pick which one. So obviously you don't want to pick your GPMG because I'm teaching you. So
I'll do it for randomly.
Well, no, the rules don't say that. The rules say you pick who's hit.
Right, he's been hit then.
So is he dead?
He's dead then.
Right. So if you lie him on his side, down there.
Yeah.
And we'll put a blood marker for him. So 2's dead.
Yeah.
And in that group, you've got 1 who's seriously injured.
Yeah, he's going to be seriously injured.
We'll swap them round because I've got different. So
right.
that guy there is seriously injured. He's dead, so he's got a big.
He's got a big one.
Right. Okay. So that's those guys activated. An activation marker on them. So they've opened fire, so they get rid of that. GBMG team. Well, this is what happened in actual, isn't it?
Yes.
So they're looking at 24 inches. So he's going to do suppressive fire. So GBMG is rate of fire of 6. So I've got 6 dice, 6, 8, 10, 12. So once again, me rolling to hit, conscripts, I've got to hit 5 or more. There's no, obviously, because it's suppressive fire. And again, it's the front platoon. What was it I say? 5s or more?
Yeah. Did he roll a spot?
Oh no, I didn't. Right, we'll cancel. Oh,
I just saved myself there.
GBMG. Right, so well spotted. I wasn't trying to play the rules there. Right, so the GBMG team, so he's gonna, it's 5s.
Yeah. No.
No.
Damn. Yes.
2. So he's going to do suppressive fire, so he can do suppressive fire. So roll again. So 12 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll get rid of that hidden marker because he's open fire.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Right. 2, 4, 5. 5 suppression points, so we'll do 2 on him, which puts him up to 6. 3 on him, which puts him on 9. Right, so what we've got this team here, you've got one guy who's seriously wounded, so the way he's not classed as a survivor, so basically it's 3 times the points of suppression. So they are now classed as suppressed. Okay, so bullet markers. So they're suppressed.
Yeah.
They've got 9, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're suppressed as well.
3.
So when you're suppressed, remember you're using the lower amount of actions when you're activated. Right, so that team's suppressed as well. These guys are going to go onto Overwatch. So they have an open fire, but they're going on Overwatch. And the same with those guys there. Right, so that's basically we've got the end of this turn. So to recap what's happened, neither side knew what was where they were. British were advancing. Alex has got he's got 2 sections forward, platoon headquarters in the middle behind them, and a section in reserve. Argentinians are hidden basically in the entrenchments on the high ground, spotted the British coming forward, opened fire. Initially it's been quite nasty for you, Alex, so you've got one guy killed, 1 seriously injured. So that's the guy who's seriously injured, and that forward section's now suppressed. Okay, so that's where we are at the end of turn 1. Right, start of turn 2. We're obviously now going to go to the card activation system. So following the rules correctly, the first phase is resolve any delayed indirect fire. There isn't any. Would resolve repeat indirect fire. There isn't any. Would resolve airstrikes. There isn't any. Would roll for reserves. There aren't any in this scenario. So go straight on to activation. Okay. So to brief people, we've both got a command deck. You've got 4 cards. You've got 6 cards rather. I've got 4 cards.
Yeah.
So remember, the British are activating on black cards. Argentinians are activating on red cards. So first card is a black 6. So it's your turn to activate. So remember, you can activate a section, or you can activate the individual fire teams. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
Remember, you can activate your platoon headquarters there within command distance, so you can use to get rid of. Remember, to get rid of a suppression point costs an activation point.
Yeah. So the guys at the front, they're classed as under.
They're classed as no, they're suppressed now. So they're only going to get 2 activation points.
Well, the first activate. So I'm going to activate this section here.
Yeah.
The first activation. Can they tell these guys that there's fire going on over there?
Basically, once they're fired, you don't have to spot. So in these rules, when they're fired, you don't have to spot. So these have opened fire, those have opened fire, he's opened fire. So you could engage them, you don't have to spot them.
Yeah, so what I'm saying, with this section, can this section tell the section behind that there's fire going on over there?
Well, they would know.
Right, okay.
They would know anyway.
Right, okay.
Because they're just behind the mountain, so they would know.
Right.
So you don't need to spot them.
Right.
So if you wanted to, you could advance through them.
Yeah.
Go down and then do either suppressive fire or whatever you want to do. Because remember, you have got 2 GPMGs in each of those fire teams.
Yeah.
So
so I'll activate the back section first. Sorry. So
this section here.
Yeah, the second one.
Okay.
So they've got 6 pips.
5 activation
5?
points. Yeah, 5 activation points
5.
on there.
So they're going to stand up for 1.
Yeah. You got advance.
They're going to
2.
Advance for 2.
You got fire.
They're going to do suppressive fire.
That would be the only thing. So you could advance for 1 and go.
I'll move for 1.
Right. So you're just in front of the other team. Yeah.
Suppressive fire.
Yeah.
Then going down.
Go down. Right. So you've got to move them 4 inches. So they're going to move them in front of those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they're going to be certainly just have a little bit more just so that they're moving in front, that they're obviously in front. Right, that's fine. And the whole section's obviously firing at once, so you're going to have quite a few. And what are they doing? Are they doing suppressive fire or are they doing concentrated fire?
They're going to do suppressive fire.
Right, and who are you shooting at?
Probably the GPMG first.
Well, the way to think about it, he's firing 6 dice. His fire teams are firing 10.
Right. Yeah.
So
we'll do the fire team.
That fire team there. So that fire team of 5. Right. So what you need, and you're doing suppressive fire.
Yeah.
So you've got 2 GBMGs, which is 12 dice.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we'll do, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just carry them. We'll class them all as assault rifles, Alex, because the difference in firing.
Yeah.
Semi is probably negligible, and I think it's for things like Duran. So so I'm quite happy to do that. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 14, 16, 18, 24 dice. So if you get 12, you sort 12 out, you're going to roll
12.
Right. So there's basically no modifiers. So because you're regular, you're going to hit on a 4 or more. So what you're looking for are 4s, and you're going to roll all those dice twice, and you're shooting at this fire team here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. So roll them all again. You've got 7 there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you've put on that fire team, you've put 13 points. So that fire team there has now got 13 points of suppression on them. So that is obviously more than double. So they're suppressed. So they're suppressed as well. Remember that ammunition marker, spent ammunition marker means they're suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So they're activated.
Yep.
So you want an activation marker and they're down.
I've got one here and I've got a down marker.
Right, so if you put that on there, next card is a Black Queen.
Ooh,
so you good. Again.
Right. So the guys at the back there, the guys in reserve, they're going next as a section.
Mm-hmm.
So they're down, so they're going to get up for 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to advance.
Remember, you've got to remember the objectives to get to this Gorse Gully here.
Advance 4, move 4 with the pip, so that's 6.
So that's, what is it, 4? So they're up, they're going to move 4, so that gives them 16 inches they can move but they can't go down.
Should they go down as well?
Alexa, too, you've got to think of the objective.
Yeah.
And keep going down's good, but it's only affecting.
Right, so they're going to go
16 inches.
Is it alright to go through?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You go straight through. Yeah.
They're done there.
So next card, Black King. Right, so the only one you've got, well, you've got the platoon headquarters, and you've got those guys who are suppressed.
The platoon headquarters can help them by taking them.
Yes, so they can use their points to remove suppression. So because it's the platoon commander, he's got 6 activation points. So you could move forward, he's within command distance, so you could do it from there. But remember, you don't want him getting left behind because you've got these troops right forward as well. So you can what you could do is you could get up.
Yeah, stand up for 1.
Yeah, you can move 2.
Yeah.
And then you could use 2 of them. You could get rid of 1 point or 2 points. But obviously if you get rid of 1 point, you can't go down. 2 points, you can't go down.
But then, well, like you said, with them momentum, they're going to do that. So they're
up for 1.
Up for 1.
Yeah.
They're going to move
2, which would be 8 inches. So they're in front of that first section. Yeah. So you've got 2 left. So you could, your platoon commander's got 1. So you could get rid of 1 suppression off 1 of them, whichever you think, and then you've still got 1 left.
Yeah. Well, I'll do that one.
Put him on 5 then, and you've still got 1. So in theory, the only issue with continually going down is so that's what we got filmed. The rules worked really well, Alex. And they always work.
Good system.
They always work well. So at the end, we had British troops in the Gorse Gully. I made some notes for sort of at the end of the game. So the Argentinian defenders, we had 1 complete section broke, and of the remaining section, the platoon headquarters, one of the fire teams was classed as under fire, which affects how you roll for firing. They had 1 dead and 5 seriously wounded in the engagement. The guys from A Company, 2 platoon A Company, they obviously got caught out in the open. Alex was in the open, and it was obviously so what they had, basically to end it, we had the majority of 2 section and the platoon headquarters were in the gully, got into the gully. 1 section had 2 dead, 1 seriously wounded. 2 section, they had 3 dead, 4 seriously wounded, and 3 section had 1 dead. So I actually made a bit of a mistake there. It's 3 section and the platoon headquarters that were in the gully. So the British casualties were quite severe, primarily because you got caught out while they were, and historically that's what happened, albeit there maybe wasn't quite as many casualties, but obviously really an awkward scenario for the British because they're in the open and they've got to get into cover with the Argentines on the hill, dug in trenches. So it was always going to be hard, but it worked quite well. So victory wise, I thought it married quite well what happened in the actual engagement, and that A Company to a large extent was sort of pinned down. Not maybe is the right word, but they were certainly under cover, and there wasn't much happening until other things later in the battle started materialising, and there was a change of command after H. Jones got killed and Chris Keeble took over, and that different style of command sort of altered things to a large extent. Anyway, that's a bit of history that we probably don't need to go into. So overall, how do you think the rules worked again, Alex?
I've done the rules loads of times. I've always like them. I think for me, I think they're the go-to rules when we try different scenarios.
Yeah.
Very easy to pick up.
Yeah.
The cards is a good where you have your own
command deck.
your command deck for interrupting if you can. That's always a nice little little bonus. Just another good game.
Right, so obviously what are we now? We're on the 8th of December, so we'll probably get maybe another game, or certainly hopefully another couple of games in. What we have been thinking about, and I spoke to Alex and did actually drop Piers brand a message in relation to NAM 68. My view is that those rules at sort of platoon level and below they work really well, and it would take very little alteration to use them for the Falklands. So what we're intending to do is either replay the scenario that we've just played using wherever sort of the little modifications we've made in NAM 68, or alternatively a little while ago we had a scenario for 3-para on London capturing a heavy machine gun position that we used 28mm figures for. That would be doable as well. So that's probably the next thing that's up. As ever, if you've got any questions for me and Alex, obviously just drop them in the comments section, and we'll get back to you. Thanks for all the support. We've got a lot of really good feedback at the show at Battleground, and that's always
about to mention that,
that's always nice. To get for people to say that they like what you're doing. Basically, that's the top one on it. So that's it. We'll obviously do an update before the festivities at Yule, and we'll see you at the next video.
Yeah, sounds good. See you
Cheers. Thanks a lot, folks.